Spring is springing back with a warmer than average weekend in many places. Hi, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks very much for joining us. We've had a wintry couple of days and now in true spring style, we're going into warmer than average weather. Now here's the good news. If you live in the South Island, and hats off to the farmers who've been dealing with lambing and calving, and I've seen the photos on Twitter. Some of them are fantastic, seeing lambs inside around the fireplace, trying to keep them warm. Here's the good news for you. The next couple of nights are mild compared to where we've been. In fact, warmer than average in some areas, and by day, about 80% of the South Island is warmer than average. So that's a positive as we head in towards the weekend. And that's because our wind flow is coming out of Australia. Just a day or so ago, it was coming straight from towards Antarctica. So this is a real shift in the wind flows. In the North Island, high pressure is encouraging a subtropical breeze that is going to develop. So even though you've still got the sou'wester as we head into the weekend, the temperatures are starting to lift up. So this is Saturday. We'll start with that high and the subtropical wind. So this is it here, a very light breeze. It's still a sou'wester, but it's got subtropical origins. So it'll be milder on Saturday, even with that wind. Now, the further south you go, the wind flow changes and it comes from a different part of Australia. Still warm though, and warmer than average weather kicking in, as I say, to about 80% of the South Island. Not so much on the west coast, that's where the rain clouds are, and maybe a few spits of rain coming in around Southland on Saturday, but the good news is it's warmer there for you as well. Now on Sunday, more of the same. Warm subtropical winds for parts of the North Island. If you don't have that, you've got a nor'wester blowing through. That will lift temperatures up in the east to the late teens and the early 20s. So this is why spring is all over the place, because we don't really get any weather stuck in place other than the wind. The temperatures keep going up and down, and that's what we're seeing right at the moment. Classic spring weather. So you can see for Sunday it's warm. As we kick off next week though, heads up to you in the south, another cold change coming. Now this one doesn't look quite as long lasting as the one we've just had, or quite as energetic, but it's still going to get cold. And as you can see, the southerlies coming up, it's very similar to what we've just had in some sense, that you've got a southerly flow coming through. One side of it is polar, the other side of it Australian, and that's what we're going to see yet again. Now that means Monday next week it goes downhill, the rain moves up the South Island, it gets colder in the South Island, still fairly mild but windy in the North Island, and then we go into Tuesday and now the whole country is colder again, and there might be a few low-level snow flurries on Tuesday, although as I've been saying the last couple of days, whether you get a snow flurry or not is really not the main feature. The main feature is the wind chill and the misery index for newborn livestock, and this is into that category of it being tough once again on Tuesday in particular. And our final map is for Wednesday. What this shows you is the cold weather retreats a bit. That blue line there drops right down from where it was up on Tuesday near Auckland, comes right back down. Now it's still wintry down here around Southland and Otago, but everybody else, typical spring weather, and again, some areas not too cold as we get into the middle of the week. So next week, driven a lot by this high parked in the Tasman and a lot of south to southwesterly winds blowing through. We hope by Sunday of next week, that high will finally be coming in and settling things down a wee bit. Fingers crossed. Still a long way to go. That is all from me. And again, as I say, hats off to you down in the South Island. You dealt with some really cold weather this week. I hope the stock losses were very minimal. And the good news is, as I say, check out the Weather Watch website this weekend, because we've got this warmer than average weather coming through for a time. That's all from me. We'll see you on Monday.